So let's start with this. So Kim explained a few things about We Teach Me. So we are a marketplace for an online marketplace for real life classes and courses. We have about 20,000 classes at the moment, over 20,000 classes. Things that are happening in your area, so from candle making to pottery classes, cooking classes, and anything else you can imagine. So we are one of the biggest, actually we are the biggest school in Australia, it's a very interesting journey. So I would like to share some of the things about this journey, that some of the life learnings and business learnings that I had. So this is us, is 4 business partners that we started. It was a very simple idea of exchanging skills at the beginning. So you can see Marty, Teng, Kim, and myself. I'm like very, standing there saying I'm gonna take over the world. I was a bit naive as well. You can tell, like all of us. Teng never smiled. That was the only the only picture that you would see him smiling. So how did it all begin? We found each other and we started this journey, and we very quickly failed. So the first thing that happened was we really failed quite badly, and the first platform we designed and we brought out was a total failure, because no one liked it. No one wanted to go there and get in any of the classes. We went out there. We ended up having 1 or 2 classes up there, and then we invited all our friends to book the classes because we couldn't get any other people to book the classes. So it was a very interesting first start. So this is failure and how to embrace it. So I don't know if this is gonna play. It's meant to be, let me see if I can make it play. Oh, sorry, let's see. So this is a quote I really love that helped me go through a really hard time of failures, where it says, "It's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change." So instead of giving up, we thought this is a good lesson to learn. We started and we created something that no one cares about. Why is that? Because we're not solving any problems. We didn't ask anyone. We didn't do the research that we should have done. It's a good learning. So we went back to the drawing board, went out there and met 100 different course providers. We asked them one by one, what are the issues that they're dealing with? And all of them had the same answer: administration issues and marketing issues. So instead of just building something that just we thought it would work, we started building on their actual feedback. And it wasn't actually that we were very smart to start something like that, or super intelligent or innovative by nature. It was just that we thought we're not gonna give up. We're just gonna work on it up until we achieve something. Let's see. So some of the things that I would like to share is define success, right? What drives you? For me, what drives me is helping people. Teng, I know that what drives him, he's our developer. What drives him is actually problem solving. There are people and different things that drive them, and it's very interesting to define success. Some people want to create a lifestyle business and have a good lifestyle, an easy life, make some money. Some other people are willing to take over the world, change the way we're thinking. So it's really hard to judge and say this person failed, because each one of us has his own dream about what they want to achieve. When we were first starting, I got a lot of people saying, what you're thinking is gonna fail anyway, it's not gonna happen. I came here in Australia 9 years ago, and I came to do a master's degree in Melbourne University on marketing, global media communications, which is quite useless now, because at that time we didn't even have, Google Analytics, Facebook ads, all these things. So it's just pretty much learning from the beginning. But lots of people doubted. They were like, you're not gonna achieve anything. Why don't you just go and get a real job? things like that. My parents didn't know what I was doing for the first 3 years. It was quite tough. Like, I had to explain to them, well, I'm going to work for a year, but I'm not going to get paid anything. We worked 2 jobs, each one of us, up until we decided to take the big step and just move toward direction that it's quite risky, but at the same time, we felt in our hearts that it was worth it. I have no business background at all. Kim, my business partner, the one that's sitting here, he was a bit like, oh, come on, we can do it. It's going to be fun. We're both starting working. We were working at that point. Kim was a lawyer. And he kind of like hated doing his practice. He was like, it's so boring. I don't like it. And I was a journalist. They made me do a lot of work, cover events and things that I didn't like. I liked being a journalist, but I thought, I'll be in a war zone and do like things like that. I don't know why. Just I had, in some kind of way, thought that would be an amazing lifestyle being a journalist, but we were both like a bit disillusioned about how our life would be like that. We're like, well, we're having a lot of fun together. How about we start a business and have more fun? Well, we were very naive, because at the beginning it was fun, because we thought, oh, wow, we're starting something. But once we made the leap and we started the business, we spent 1 year failing and having no money and being persistent pretty much. So then what happened was we started being guilty for like having so much fun. Everyone was starting getting like corporate jobs, and we were out at events and exploring, the idea of how to build a business. And it was really fun at the beginning. So we started feeling guilty, and we were like, oh, like maybe we should, like work day and night and make this happen and, be more driven. And we would like nudge each other and say, why aren't you not doing enough? And it started like getting a bit bitter, and all our friends or our family were like, it was a bit of an interesting situation. So it was a good lesson to learn. Like, I've seen a lot of startups after 5 years of running with It's Me. And lots of people have lost friends, partners, family members by just like having a very bad relationship with them because they chose to put their work above what they started. So that was a very good lesson for us. We stay together, but we always say, make sure you put your people first. Like your job, your startup, your business might fail, but the people who are around you will always follow, will always be there for you. Cherish them and make them always be on top of everything, because like when you lose your business, your knowledge will still follow you. You can start something new, but the people that you're going to lose in that journey are irreplaceable. So here's some like early life lessons. I'm on the bottom right, second row. So the risk and the importance of being independent. So this is a story that I would like to share to start with. Risk. So I don't know who knows Greece here. Does anyone know anything about Greece? Maybe show me some hands. Anyone? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so Greece is in a deep financial crisis at the moment. 9 years ago, it was doing fine. But people were very risk averse. So massive public sector, people were like, just get a job so that you're comfortable. Don't get out of your comfort zone too much. Don't be like this, just make sure you're comfortable somewhere and you get a job and you just go by and you do whatever you want in your free time. So my parents were working actually in the public sector, and I have, as I said before, no business background. So my first lesson about risk was given to me by my grandfather when he came to Australia about 50 years ago to just seek the opportunity for a better future. He was 45 years old, and he already had a family of 4, so 3 girls and my grandmother. And he made the decision because the time was hard. He was from a village somewhere in Peloponnese, and he decided to come here to just get some money, It took him 1 month on the boat. He learned how to speak English on that journey, during that journey on the boat. And he came here risking out pretty much everything to just say, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to come here and create a better future back home for myself and my family. A very interesting lesson to learn. He has always said to me, take the risk, but be cautious about it. Don't be silly. So whatever risk you're taking, it should be a calculated risk. So when I started the business myself, I never felt I gave up. I had already had my degrees. It was a risk that I never felt that I would just like give up everything and go to do it. Nothing really stopped me, because I felt that no matter what, even the experience will allow me to learn a lot more things about myself and how to survive in a very competitive environment. The second lesson about being independent is something that personally drives me along as well. So I'm driven by helping people, because I find that very fulfilling. So I think every business should be based on some kind of kindness, whether it is what Sally was doing before, enhancing your house and how it looks and giving pleasure to someone from that, down to, like helping small to medium businesses, or people follow their passion, or help them learn something new. This makes me feel very happy. The other thing, which is quite personal, is being independent. And that's a lesson I learned when I was 4 or 5 years old from my grandmother. She would take me aside, and every night before I go to bed, and she would say, repeat after me, you are strong, you are smart, you're independent. First and second makes kind of sense. The third one, though, being independent, never made sense to me, because I was 4, right? How can someone that's 4 is independent? Anyway, when I grew older, I realized what she meant with that. She wanted me to have the opportunities and all the things that I ended up having. She wanted me to have the opportunities that she never had. She wanted me to be able to have control over my life. She was illiterate. She stayed in a village. She had my grandfather, and she was quite dependent on him. She never had her own income, and thus she was not in control of her life. And she wanted me to have that opportunity to be independent, to work for myself, to challenge myself every day, to grow and be strong, be kind to others and myself, but at the same time grow to all my potential. And the little one that says, the little girl that you see up there, that's me. So there was a school competition for costumes. So it was over the Greek carnival, where everyone was getting dressed up. And I was wearing there my brother's costume, because my mom decided that I did not deserve to get something that year, but just wear my brother's old costume. So I was wearing a Thundercats outfit. I don't even know what that is anymore, but anyway. So there was a teacher in that school, and she said to me, she sat next to me, and she said, "What are you wearing?" And I was always a bit of a... My dad always said, "You should have been a lawyer," because I would always talk back, and I would be quick in just not giving anyone, the right to, make me feel a bit bad about what I'm doing. So she said to me, "What are you wearing? Don't you want to wear a nice dress like the rest of the girls, that they're princesses?" Or there were lots of, this is just my class, but there were lots of girls, all princesses of the autumn and princesses of the snow. And what I ended up wearing was a bit intimidating, but I turned around and said to her, "Whoa, I'm not a girl, I'm a warrior." So she went and said to my mom this girl is going to have a very interesting life, because she just doesn't want to be like the other girls. So I was quite different since I was a kid. And I think that actually quite helped me with my journey so far. So here's my designer up there. When you're doing something that you love, it becomes effortless, and Mondays don't suck anymore. This is bullshit. So this is not true. Mondays suck, even if you really, really have your own business and do what you love, because you have to deal with that shit. Like, you have to go and talk to the customers that you don't want to talk with the things that you don't know and you don't want to know. Like, I didn't study finance. I sit there and look at numbers and I'm like, what is that thing? It's just like, you can't know anything, but you have to go to work every day and deal with the things that you do not want to deal with. And the only thing that you can do to make Monday better is not to go to work, but still you have to, right? And if someone comes and tells you, well, like, I do everything and like, you know, it's amazing and I really enjoy my work, I do too. But if you're not dealing with the things that make your life hard, then you're not growing. And it's better if you get used to being in a situation where you always challenge yourself and you become better every day, rather than avoid situations and feel like you are comfortable in wherever you are. Because the moment you start growing, that's actually when you start failing. So some business lessons coming after that. So number one, choose the people you surround yourself. So if there is one thing that I really love about the people that I'm working with, is that I feel there are things that they're a lot smarter than me about. So this is very important. I like people that challenge me, challenge my decisions, challenge what I think about, like, give me different perspective. And that's the people you want to work with, people that they teach you things, people that they're better than you. That's the people that will make you better and your work better. Challenge yourself and get out of your comfort zone. This is something I explained before, but this is also something that I really genuinely believe in. I think as a human being, you should offer something in the world. You should have a purpose. And if you don't have that, you should keep looking and it will come to you. And finally, perseverance. If you don't quit, you can't fail. So you could go out and like talk to some of our customers. When I started with We Teach Me, I was doing a lot of work on sales. It was pretty hard, you know, like some people weren't very happy about me calling them, but if they didn't say no, I kept calling to the point where they were like, oh my God, it's you again. And eventually they would sign up and they would be like, there is only one thing that I have to tell you, you're very, very persistent. And I think all of us, each one of us, like the business partners and, you know, the people who we're working with, they know how persistent we are in making this work. There is a lot of things that we failed, either as teams or individuals, you know, like within the people, you know, the people you hire, the people you work with, everything is a decision every single day. And we're making mistakes and we learn from them and we become better. But we do not give up. And finally, there is something that I think is the most important thing that I could share with you today. I believe there should be no excuses. I think the biggest excuse for what you want to achieve is made up by you. So I'll give you a good example for that. So when we first started, we're like, okay, so each one of us has to take a role. I clearly cannot develop the site because I have no knowledge for that. I cannot do any finance because me and numbers are not getting well along. You know, what am I going to do? I'm just going to be pleasant and talk to people about what I'm working on and try and understand what they need and what I can do with them. So the first thing was Kim said to me, okay, you just start making the calls. And instantly, I got terrified. I said to him, but I have an accent. I don't know anything about Australian people. I don't know how to do this. People are going to yell at me. They're going to say to me, why are you calling me? Why are you annoying me? I'm not sure how to do this. Like, this is really scary. I don't want to do it. I'm not good at it. And instantly, like, I just realized, like Kim said to me, well, you're making excuses and things like that. At that point, I was such a big obstacle for me. But it was actually an excuse. It was not that I could not do it. It was that I was scared of it. So the biggest excuses that you're making are the ones that you're making for yourself. The biggest obstacles for you to grow, to achieve things, to fulfill your dreams, to get where you are, is all the things that you're putting in front of you and you're saying, well, you're not capable of doing that. Well, you are. Because, and here is a nice quote. He says, you've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. So it's the final image of the We Teach Me dog and us doing some work there. So not only don't let anyone tell you what you cannot do, but don't even let yourself be an obstacle in achieving your dreams. Because you can do it. I started, and I can't even pronounce the name of the company properly. I don't know if you have realized, but I can't say CH, so I say We Teach Me, which is not right? People would be like, oh, excuse me? I learned, though. I went through the whole trip. I cried every single client at the beginning that would tell me off. And it worked. It worked. We have employees, we're here, and I'm proud of what we have achieved so far. And I'm not sitting back and I'm saying, okay, now I'm comfortable, because there's so many more of the things that I want to achieve and get, and there's so many things that you can achieve if you're willing to. So everything is possible. So maybe that's something that you should ask yourself. What excuses are you making? What is it that stops you from achieving all the things that you would like to? So that's pretty much it.